actually need to hit record. Hi friends, I'm Felicia. Welcome back to my channel. So my last video was my mostly sci-fi and fantasy wrap-up for the month of May. And so this video is going to be contemporary classics and non-fiction for the month of May. My battery just went down to the last bar, so we're going to talk fast. So the first book that I want to talk about is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. And if you can believe it, I had never read Little Women up until this point in my life. Like, I made it to the age of 28 without ever having read this. Or seeing any of the movie adaptations, I know. But I loved it. I love this story. This is gonna go up there on my list of favorite classics. This is a story about the four March sisters, Meg, Jo, Amy, and Beth. And it just basically follows them throughout the course of their lives of being young teenagers and then into adulthood. And yeah, it's just one of those cozy classics that just makes you feel good. Just kind of more about life than, you know, like a big conflict or anything. Just kind of telling you about their lives. And I really loved it. I thought it was great. Made me feel good. And now I want to watch a movie adaptation. I don't know which one is the best one. So if you have an opinion on that, let me know. Plus also my Puffin and Bloom classics are so pretty. The next book that I read was The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines. If you don't know who Chip and Joanna Gaines are, they are the people that do have the show Fixer Upper on HGTV, which is my favorite channel. And it makes me sad that I don't have TV, because that's literally the only thing that I miss watching is HGTV. So I watch it at my mom's and my in-laws. Anyways, so Fixer Upper, I love their show. I love their relationship. They're a married couple. Yeah, I just love that glimpse into their lives. And so when I saw this book, it was like $4 on Kindle. So I was like, yes. But then I also saw that the audiobook was available on Overdrive. And so I listened to it as an audiobook because it is narrated. It's mostly narrated by Joanna, but Chip has parts in there as well. And it just basically tells about their lives from just before they, like when they met, how they met, got married, and then the beginning of their marriage and how they got up to the point of owning the Magnolia store and getting their show Fixer Upper and all of that. I really loved their story. I really admire them as a couple, and so just hearing about their relationship and their start and like when they were my age and everything, it just was really cool. And I also found it really inspiring because they just worked hard and they still work hard, and it made me feel like, yeah, I can work hard too and I can get stuff done. And yeah, it was really inspirational for me. I really enjoyed it. So if you like them at all, then I would highly recommend this book. The next book that I read was Always and Forever Laura Jeanne, and that was a book that I read for the Book Buddy-a-thon with my buddy Angela, and that was fulfilled the challenge of reading a book that starts with your buddy's first initial, because Angela and Always start with A. So yeah, this is the last book in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series by Jeanne. If you're not familiar with it, basically our main character, Laura Jeanne, writes a letter to every guy that she ever gets a crush on when she wants to get over him. And then she puts these letters away and doesn't send them out. And then one day they are all of a sudden in the hands of these boys that they were written to. And so the first book is her dealing with that, and then it doesn't carry on throughout the rest of the books. The rest of the books just follow Laura Jeanne, and in this last book she is in grade 12. She's getting ready to graduate and she's just deciding about college and stuff like that and what her life is going to be like after. And so, first of all, it just reminds me how sad I feel for kids in grade 12 that they have to make all these huge life decisions. Like, they feel like they have to have their whole life decided at 18. Like, no, that's just unrealistic. We shouldn't expect that of 18-year-olds. Like, they barely were able to drive, and in the States they can't even drink, so why do we think they should have their whole life figured out at 18? But whatever, I digress. I'm almost 30, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, just so you know. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I love Jenny Han's writing. She just has it's a very like friendly, conversational way of writing, if that makes sense. I just feel like I'm hearing a story about Laura Jeanne and like just kind of getting a little glimpse into her life. And I just really enjoy these books. The ending wasn't what I wanted, but I was okay with it. I thought it worked, and so yeah, I was okay with it. I really enjoy the series. I think if you like contemporary, this is a good series for you. And like basically Laura Jean is me. She's like a little old grandma trapped in a teenager's body, and like that was me. I'm still a grandma trapped in a young person's body. So I relate a lot to Laura Jean. She's also kind of just very sweet, and she's innocent, and that was also me as a teenager. I was very innocent and naive, so I relate a lot to Laura Jean, and I just enjoy these books a lot. The next book that I read was Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and this is her book on overcoming fear in creativity. I really liked it. I love reading books about creativity and stuff, and I think she had a very good approach to it. Basically everything that she said, I was like, yes, yes, preach it. I can go out and make everything. And like, as a creative person, it just really, really spoke to me. Some of her ideas are like maybe a little bit weird, but the practical application of them is good. Yeah, I just felt really inspired after reading that. I read 2 really inspiring books in May, so I do feel very inspired to just do things and make things. So yeah, I would recommend it if you're looking for books on creativity. Just, you know, disregard her little floofy ideas. The last book that I read in May was The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. I think I read this before, but I didn't retain lots from it, and I've never seen a movie adaptation of this either. And I actually listened to the Audible recording, which is narrated by Nick Offerman, and that part was delightful. He was perfect for it. I just realized that there were parts of this book that I like. I read this for my in real life book club with some friends, and we had a really good discussion about it when we met. And I realized that I did enjoy it more than I thought I did, but just like I really liked the beginning, really liked the end. I thought the characters were good, but then there was just this huge chunk in the middle with boys just being boys, and I was like, I am not here for this. This is so boring. So, and I've realized that I don't really typically enjoy books that have just groups of guys just like being, I don't really like stories about boys being boys. Like, it's just very boring for me. This is a classic. Just follows Tom Sawyer through his everyday life, and he's very naughty and he's very clever, and he's very good at getting other people to do things that he wants them to do. Like, there were parts of it that I liked, parts of it that I didn't. It's not my favorite classic, but it's not the worst thing I've ever read. Like, it's just kind of in the middle for me. I don't know if I'll go on and read Huck Finn. The Audible narration is done by Elijah Wood, so that's kind of tempting. That'd be very interesting if you just think about how Nick Offerman sounds and then how Elijah Wood sounds. Very different. I know a lot of people love this book, and I can see why they might, because it's pretty good. And like some of the social commentary in it is funny. So yeah. And my battery didn't die. That's the rest of the books that I read in May, and as usual, if you've read them and you have any thoughts about them, let me know down below. I'd love to hear about them. So that's all that I have for today. So until next time, so long, and thanks for all the fish.